Good evening, folks. Tonight, I'm going to take a quick look at Raid on Iran, Steve Jackson Pocket Game. This is the republished version they just came out with. Well, just came out with. It's been republished back in, it was recently. Let me dump this out before I get into it so I can tell you the dates, because this is not the original version. This is the reprinted version. 2019 reproduction. It's a 1980 game, and this is the reproduction. Nothing's changed at all. Well, I shouldn't say that. The case has changed. The cases, the new cases in 2019 are much nicer. They're deep. It's got the old artwork. Look at that old artwork. You don't see artwork like that anymore. Here's your quick explanation. Steve Jackson Games. Raid on Iran is a simulation of what might have been if the rescue mission. Well, you know, most of you guys probably remember the Iran affair under Jimmy Carter. Some of you guys might not. It was a big deal back in the day. The raid that failed was a even bigger deal. And then thank God for Ronald Reagan. But so you get this nice case, hard plastic case, beautiful cover. That's evokes the time period. There's the Ayatollah, there's a prisoner, and then there's a American soldier with his web gear, his old Vietnam era, World War II era helmet, and an M60 machine gun. The game also comes with 2 dice, the Steve Jackson dice that come with all these pocket games. For the one spot, they have that Illuminati eye on the pyramid. Purple sparkly one and a ivory white sort of one. No, that's not ivory. That's white, whatever. Comes with counters, a sheet of counters. Punched them out. They're basically, this is enemy. The red is the enemy. That's the Iranians. The number is basically, it's strength points. So that's like a 1 strength point counter. Here's a counter for a mob. There could be mobs on the map. These white with the blue silhouettes are the Americans, or U.S. troops. Again, strength point. That's a 1 strength point unit. Let me find another different. Yeah, here we go. There's a 5 strength point American unit, 5 strength point Iranian unit. Here's some helicopters. Helicopter support if you have it, or if you can get it. There's also different heavy weapons you can equip with your squad. Here's one. Shoot. Where'd it go? It was a mortar. I just saw it. They're these little tiny... Oh, I don't want to have to dump these out. There's these little tiny, like, label type counters that have the weapon listed on it. I just saw that mortar counter. I know you guys did too. Wasn't it over here? By the hella chop chop. Oh, here it is. Here's a heavy weapon. It's a mortar. You can equip these little tiny counters on top of these strength point counters. Ooh, look, here's a big fat 10 American strength point counter. There's also heavy machine guns, rocket launchers, and things like that, I believe. But that's the counters. Here's the original flimsy, real thin, cut it out with a pair of scissors. This is the complete counter sheet for the game. These counters here are wounded. There's your helicopters. There's breaches. You can blow holes through buildings and walls. That denotes where the breach is. You have some helicopter support. One of the scenarios lets you go after the the Khomeini. And there's your strength point markers for both sides. Here's your mob counters. And then down here, here's those heavy weapons I was telling you about. Yeah, there's a 50 cal. Oh, and mortars that you can carry with you. But that's basically a count. These counters on this little flimsy sheet here are all cut up, punched in this bag. Comes with a player aid. This is the ranged combat table with some modifications and explanations of the symbols. So when you're shooting at each other. And on the back, there's an entry by stealth. You can try to sneak around, and depending on how well you sneak, depends on how many men you're trying to sneak around together and what you roll. Here's the close attack table. This is more like hand-to-hand pistol range, I guess. And here's a reinforcement table for the Iranians. Here's the rule book. Let's take a look at the map first. The map's on paper. You fold it out. It's glossy paper, thin glossy paper. Come on. Again, let me apologize, fellas, because you know what there's going to be. This map's going to have some hard creases, as you can see already before I even got the damn thing unfolded all the way. Come on. Oh, I struggle with this. All right, let's get this.